Indulge in the past with History on the Rocks, the podcast that brings you the fascinating tales of lesser-known history while you get ready for the weekend with your favorite drink in hand. Join Cody and Audrey as they uncork the stories that time forgot. From famous people like George Washington and his distillery to pirate queens causing mayhem on the high seas. Each episode is a journey through the ages with endless possibilities. Give them a follow on Facebook and Instagram. So grab a glass, relax, and join us every Thursday, History on the Rocks, where you'll learn about the past while sipping in the present. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcast. Hey, this is Stacey.
And this is JR. We're Sparrows Under Review. The hardest thing that happens inside podcasting is when you get out here and you're navigating the world of podcasting, doing your shows, you have to build formats for your shows. You start off with a uncanny ability to just make conversation. And when you're making conversation, it starts off and then you start getting listeners. The more and more that you get listeners for your show, listeners then ask questions about certain things and topics you cover. And with our podcast, we cover reviews. We cover all sorts of things. We've covered the times that we've traveled places. We've covered times that we've gone out to places to eat. We've covered bookstores. We've covered a whole array of things. So the creation process for us is a format of this. What did we eat this week? Where did we go to eat? Where did we go see a movie? How did we see a movie? How did we consume TV? How do we do what we do to produce an episode? So Stacey and I sit in our recliners. We sit back and forth and we argue sometimes. We just look at each other like, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? And
don't lie. It's not sometimes. It's all the time.
Yeah, it's
all the time. We're just going to be honest. You hear the banter on here. So you can only imagine what it's like off the tape.
So the back and forth goes on what shall we cover for that week. And then some weeks, like we had one time where we watched a bunch of movies that never made it to air because every movie was dumpster juice or lackluster, wouldn't you say?
We just didn't agree on it.
Right. So,
but, you know, like I've said before, it doesn't matter whether you enjoy the movie or not. You know, if we think it's trash, then everybody, might want to know that we think it's trash. And then it kind of goes into everything is based off of opinion. None of this is factual information whenever we give how we feel about an episode. So just because we don't like a movie doesn't mean that you guys aren't going to like that movie. And that's what I try to get you to understand. Just because we don't like it doesn't mean they might not like it.
Except for one movie. Oppenheimer.
And that's your opinion. There's a lot of people out there that enjoyed Oppenheimer.
Yeah, a lot of people did love that. I think that's the only thing that we both agree on wholeheartedly that we didn't like from this past year's movies. Now, going on to food, we haven't done a lot with food lately. Moving around in our local area, we decided yesterday to actually go do some fine dining at a restaurant in Williamstown, West Virginia. That is the last part of West Virginia before you get to Ohio, in the northwestern point of West Virginia. So anybody that's a map head or something like that or likes to know locations, Williamstown is the last point before you get to the Ohio River, literally, not figuratively.
Right.
So Stacey and I entered this restaurant with another counterpart of us that we can't name because she's a federal agent.
Jokes.
And this fine dining establishment was very different.
I was impressed when I walked in. The layout, the design, the decorations, it felt very I don't want to say they felt upscale, but you knew you weren't walking into Texas Roadhouse. And that's not me bashing Texas Roadhouse, because you'll hear the rest of that a little later on.
Yeah, so me stepping in, I see the aesthetics, we see everything. The hostess that are out there in the front, everybody's nice. It's a very warm atmosphere. And this is the one thing for me, and this is where I slow the episode down real quick for you all. The temperature in there was just right.
It was.
And I don't know how many times that we go to restaurants, but when we go to a restaurant, I'm either too cold, too hot, but it's never just right.
Right. And see, I'm the type of person where when I go to a restaurant, I want to be too cold. over too hot. If I go in there and it's too hot, I'm not staying. I can go in there and I can freeze my toes off, but I will not go in there and sweat.
Right. Unless we were eating at the Hot Dog Hill building outside.
I mean, that's different. We're taking that outside experience. So that's a completely different topic.
Okay. So when we sat down, you sat down, we sat in a booth, and then our federal agent sat on the other side. And federal agent...
No, she's not really a federal agent. We're just not allowed to disclose her name because... personal reasons.
Right. So federal agent sounds cool to me. So we all sit down and you get the corner right here. So you get snuggled in and then I slide on in. We get close. I touch you for a second. And we both produce a lot of body heat when we're together. And we sat there and I was comfortable. Like I got in a little groove and you gotta hit the little thing like this and then I'm in the seat. And we sat there and we looked at the menu. And the first thing that came up was this random cheese that I forgot the name of it.
It starts with an M. Hold on.
And as we were discussing the different things in the menu, they had all kinds of array of things. Like they had, I hate to use this word, but and it's
Manchego?
Yes.
Manchego. Which
in layman's terms turned out to taste just like...
She said it's very similar to like Velveeta macaroni and cheese. Kraft, like homemade mac and cheese. It wasn't like a harsh, rotten flavor type cheese. I don't know how else to explain it.
Right. And it didn't... The item that we ordered was a normal steak fry cheese with bacon. And it had green onions, which I almost thought they were chives at first. And that display came out there, and it was a fairly nice portion. Paul,
no, it wasn't.
What I'm saying about fairly nice...
For the type of restaurant it was, yes. But $15, that was not worth $15.
I mean, it was a fairly enough... you didn't let me finish. Fairly enough amount for just me.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say.
Right, but still, when you said that, but no, it was not worth the price, in my opinion.
Right. But the taste of the food, though, this one item, the fries with that cheese being something that I had never tasted before, right. It made me think that they just gave the cheese a new name. Like it was just Velveeta cheese. Like somebody in the back took the Velveeta cheese pack, spread it out a little bit, and put it on there. Which, for the presentation of it, it was nice and all. It
was nice. Like it was done up good, and it looked good. I just, like I said, we're used to Texas Roadhouse, so this is an higher scale type place, and I was just, it was a good appetizer, but I was very disappointed cost to portion ratio.
Right. Yes, for $15 there should have been more, which is something I hope they take up in the near future because, I mean, where it's located at, it's in an odd place first off.
Yeah, but it's been there long enough that they should be adjusting some prices down.
Right.
Instead of their menus just saying market value and their wait staff not knowing market value for the day.
So we went on and we ordered food. The mistake that I made was I should have just stuck to a sandwich or a handheld.
Yeah, because it was pretty early in the day, like evening.
Right. So it was like 2-3 o'clock, right?
About 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Yeah. So it was like not dinner, but not lunch, but somewhere in between. It ended up being dinner for us.
Right.
And me personally, I looked at everything and I realized that even though I'm eclectic and I like different food, there was only one thing on that menu I was going to eat, and that was going to be steak.
Right.
Because everything else, I didn't want to take a chance on getting something that I didn't know if I was going to eat it or not.
Right, because we hadn't tried the cheese yet, and everything had that cheese on it.
Right.
And me, I'm like, I refuse to go to a restaurant and spend that much money on something that I know I might not enjoy because I'm going to be upset, especially... with the cost of our bill at the end there. Like, if I wouldn't have at least enjoyed it a little bit, I probably would have been upset because I'm a food person.
Right. And here's one thing I want to put in context. We don't live in a big city.
Right.
It's not like the price of what our food would be in New York or something would be that normal price of what we paid.
Right.
So we don't know that. We know bargain food.
Right.
When I can go eat out cheaper than it is for me to make meals.
Right.
So going into this place, where we're supporting our local business, we get our steaks. I asked for my steak medium well. My steak was cooked well done.
Mine as well.
And I did not make a complaint because I was like, let me try the food. Let me give this place a chance. Which, in hindsight, when I think about it, I'm getting a little angry about this because there weren't a lot of people in there eating.
Right.
And...
you had 3 of your hosting staff up front.
Right. So,
Hello, lovely listeners. Are you feeling the excitement of spring in the air? Along with the blossoming flowers and warmer weather comes the inevitable task of spring cleaning, and for some, the adventure of moving. But fear not, because we've got a game-changing solution to make your life easier. Smart labels.
Picture this: colorful QR code labels that you stick on your boxes and totes, paired with a user-friendly app. With smart labels, you can effortlessly catalog your belongings as you pack. Just scan, name, and describe each item, and you're done. No more guessing what's in which box.
But here's the real magic. When it's time to find something, simply whip out your phone, open the app, and search for the item. It's like having a virtual inventory of your belongings right at your fingertips.
Join the growing community of smart labels users who have bid farewell to the frustration of lost items during moves and decluttering sessions. Experience the joy of a streamlined, efficient organizing process.
Ready to transform your spring cleaning and moving experience? Head over to Amazon today to snag your Smart Label QR code labels and download the app. Trust me, your future self will thank you.
Smart labels, because why waste time searching when you can be enjoying the season? Nothing on them, but whoever was back there cooking could have made my steak properly, or it may not have been told properly. Yeah. So I don't know what to go on that part. So I get my steak. The steak had good...
Because to us, medium well is a warm, light pink center. Like, I should see a little bit of pink in my steak.
Right.
There was none.
So on the very edges of my steak, just to talk about this, because we don't talk about food very much, because I won't give a big descriptive. When I cut the end, I got good flavor. Mm-hmm. Towards the middle of my steak, that's where I started, which I should never have that problem in the middle. I should have it on the ends.
Right.
When I got to the middle, it was rigorous. It was on my mouth, and that's a on my mouth to eat that steak. Then here's the next part that was very disappointing. I got these amazing rosemary potatoes, and in getting these rosemary potatoes, the rosemary on the outside, because my potatoes looked like they were in a big cup and someone just slapped them bitches on the table.
Yeah, I'd say they did like one of those little what are the biscuit cutter type deals? Yeah, so, which was cute. Like, it came out with decent presentation. Let me say that, decent presentation.
So the outside of my mashed potatoes, and we're going to do it into layers. Mm-hmm. The first two layers were amazing because you have that trapped in taste of the rosemary, which was something I haven't had in a while because we cook, but we don't care about rosemary.
We don't flavor like that,
right? So I was impressed.
Okay.
But once again, getting to the center of my food, I had the same issue I had with the steak. Mm-hmm. Like, let's get rid of the blandness.
Right. See, I tried a bite of your mashed potatoes, and that's what I thought. I thought it was very bland, and I took it as I'm getting over a cold, so my taste buds have been off anyways. Everything I've eaten, I tell you, like, it tastes really salty, but I tasted no salt in that. I tasted nothing but picking up a potato out of the garden and chewing on it. That's what I tasted, and I was very disappointed in that for you.
Right. So from that point on, I moved over to my asparagus because I'm a sectional eater. I eat one thing, go to the next thing. The asparagus was perfect.
It was. The asparagus was great.
The asparagus, however they did it, and when I got to the middle of my asparagus where all the other stuff had sat on top of it, the middle of my asparagus, once again, I'm a middle person when it comes to eating, so the middle was amazing.
It was.
So I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, damn, I should have just ordered what the federal agent got. Not necessarily, I would have ordered the hamburger with cheese.
Right.
And after that, please tell us about your experience.
So I got a salad with my meal. It was good. It was a good salad. The tomatoes were kind of chunky, but I expect that anywhere. I had to cut up my own cucumber, because who the hell eats the freaking rind on a cucumber? Not me. Sorry. Like, I want that shit peeled off. I want that washed and peeled off. I don't want that extra green stuff in my salad. I had to cut up my onions. So, like, I had to sit there and I had to cut up my own salad in this restaurant that cost us $70 for 2 steaks. And that's what threw me. At the end of the day, when I got that bill, I was mad because I had to cut up my own salad. Going in a restaurant like that, I should never have to do that. It should be bite-sized pieces.
It should be prepped, yes.
Like you said, the asparagus was amazing. I'm like you. I eat mine one at a time. And then after I ate my asparagus, I dove into the steak, which it should never been an issue of me eating my steak last, but it was cool. Like it was cool to the touch, and there was no sear to it. There was no heat or nothing when it came out to the table, and I was like, okay, that's a little odd. And I'm really hoping that it was just an off day. Granted, I won't go back and spend that much money on that place because of the bad experience, but I might go back and, like you said, try one of the burgers because it is a huge difference in price. But my steak too was overcooked, dry, and it had just like weird flavor to it.
And just to name this place, can we name it on there?
Yeah.
It's Rivertowne Prime Steakhouse and Grill at 100 Allspray Drive, Williamstown, West Virginia. Right. And the reason I can disclose the address is because if you are traveling through the area,
right, and I'm not saying not do it, and it's what we ordered, because I did ask, it was a strip steak. I asked her, I said, do you know what your market price today is for the strip steak? No, I don't know, but I can go ask. I don't want to do that. Like, as a company, every morning, if your prices are going to change, you need to provide that to your wait staff.
Right.
I should never have to ask you to go back to the back, get a price for me, and then come back up. Like, especially with the price that you're charging me, you should know how much your food cost. I get not remembering everything, because that is a lot. That's a lot for a server to have to remember. But as a business, provide that to your servers so that we don't have to ask those questions later.
And it's as simple as putting it down on a piece of paper.
It is.
The paper that they carry is no bigger than this.
Right.
And they could have just jotted it down.
Right. They could put those at the back of their little, what are those thingies where they take our orders?
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And I just I don't know. I'm going to stick to Texas Roadhouse because you and I can go there 3 times for what we paid yesterday.
Yeah, and my thing is, I'm always about supporting local. Right. And when we do give local eateries a chance that are this prime, this is the first time we've given a expensive establishment that's local our money like that. It makes me glad that it's in a location where it's at because it's up there in the upper class area.
I'll never go out of my way to go to it.
Yeah, and it was just a one time deal for me. Right. And it just kind of hurt me because, in my sense, I thought I would have a place that I could tell people, when you come visit me, let's go here.
Right. And every time we go out to eat, I have leftovers.
Yes.
And there was nothing left.
Right, and that's not right.
Right.
Not saying anything.
Right. No, but that's not normal for me because I always have leftovers. I always only eat half of my food because that's the way I order it. I want to have something later on, and to know that the food we ate yesterday was double the cost of what 2 meals could feed me at Texas Roadhouse, that hurt my heart. Right.
And in hindsight, when I do comparisons of all the places that we eat, and when we eat on that kind of echelon, I will have to say this, like, the cost per the taste, like you said, I hate to because we always want to pull for our independent people, but when it comes to something like that, and I'm talking about chain food, I'm gonna, like you said, I'm gonna stick with Texas Roadhouse, and I will say to the people that live up there and to other people, go there and try food. But I will. But if you want my true recommendation before we end this, is I would eat a handheld. I would eat something that was not a premier steak. I stayed away from,
give the cheese a chance.
I stayed away from the fish section and seafood because the way that they batter it with Guinness is not a taste that I like. Right. So I know I didn't even want that in my fish. So
I felt like my only option was steak. I could have got off the kids menu, but I'm an adult. I wanted real food. I didn't want chicken tenders. But the way that my palate is in the low culture that I have when it comes to high-end food, I knew I wasn't going to eat anything else but steak.
Right. And I can almost take this back to a time when we sat down and ate at the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I related it to. That I think in the back of my mind somehow all the craziness that goes on. I said Cheesecake Factory, Williamstown version.
Okay.
And I realized that,
except for it didn't have the great dessert at the end.
Right. So That was one thing I realized that, like, you know, I'll never go back to Cheesecake Factory to eat real food. We go there to eat cheesecake. We eat somewhere else and then we go there.
So our friend that went, she liked her sandwich. She got like this, it looked like cut up pieces of chicken.
Yes.
And she had like bacon and then the M cheese on it. The chicken had good flavor. It was still a little dry, the piece that I got. Yeah. But it wasn't nearly as dry as the steak. She got regular fries. And did you try those separately?
Yeah, after her, the fries, the one that I got was seasoned. Fries? Yeah, they were seasoned. Okay. So they were pretty good, but she thought they were lackluster.
Okay. And then the soda was good. I got Dr. Pepper. It didn't taste nasty. Like, it actually had good quality. And I appreciated that. They knew how to carbonate their Dr. Pepper. How was the tea? It looked really dark.
The tea was really dark. It was really rich. Okay. Like, it wasn't no Pam tea. Right. Like, so, you know, and I've gotten accustomed to Pam tea. Right. So, drinking that tea, it was very good. And where I had a half and half, she did a perfect blend. Yeah. I had sweetness, but it wasn't enough sweetness for me, but that's fine. I don't need it.
Right. And, like, this isn't to diss the restaurant at all, because you might go in there and you're going to love it. And that's absolutely fine. We just want to kind of give our experience and give our take as to why you don't hear us talk a whole lot about places like this, because I hate to be the type of person that says, oh, you know, I didn't like it at all and I'll never go back, and you take that from me and saying, well, you know, since they didn't like it and they're never going back, I'm not going to give it a shot. Don't do that, please. If you're in the area, give it a try if you like different types of food. If you are a plain Jane, I like chicken tenders and steak only, then don't do it.
Texas Roadhouse.
Yep.
And live your best life. Yep. So on that note, I'm JR.
And I'm Stacey.